Hi everyone, I wanted to share with you some tips about how to paint something that's irregularly shaped with fluid acrylic paints. We've seen a lot of videos and you probably have done it a million times where you've poured on something flat like a tile or a circle or just a shape that's not got curves and stuff. And I have always found that you could still follow the same principles for fluid pours, but you could also get a bit innovative and use different techniques in the same painting. So instead of just doing a pour and tilting like we usually do with our canvases and our tiles, it could be a combination of tilting and swiping. Not necessarily the traditional kind of swiping either, where you put some colors and then you use either white or black to swipe with. You could just swipe with a spatula. So that's the technique that I'm going to use while painting this. Also, I did not use white paint here as the base. That's extreme glitter gold from Folk Art. And the reason I did that was because I really like the subtlety of the glitter as it catches the light once a painting is complete, because it's coming right from the bottom and it's interspersed with the rest of the paints. So that's what I'm spreading around over here. It's the Extreme Glitter Gold by Folk Art, and I just love how it sparkles in the sunlight. Also, you'll notice that I'm using test tubes for this dirty pour. What I did was I used the paints in a certain order, and instead of pouring them in a cup, I first poured in a test tube just to get the base colors where the curves are, and then I used a cup to tilt the paint. So I had a very specific idea in mind of how I wanted this to end up looking like, and that's the reason why I did this in portions. And I could have done cups and just lifted them one at a time and then done the tilt, but that would have given a very different effect. What I wanted was to have some shape, some control, but also some fluidity in movement of the paint. So that's the reason why I used the test tube method and got some portions done first and then did the rest with a cup like we traditionally would do with a canvas or with tile. And I just used my spatula to make sure that I got all the spaces, the nooks and crannies, and the sides. I like to have the sides have that continuation of the paint, and so I do spend I feel sometimes an inordinate amount of time just trying to get everything covered on the sides, but the end product really does look good because of that. It gives a more finished feel, in my opinion. And then I just went over with whatever leftover paint there was and included that in the design of the fluid art movement. The cells happened as they always do on their own. There wasn't really any forcing off them. I just blew a heat gun on top to help the oil come to the surface, and you'll see some close-ups in a minute, but it's really it's following the same principles of fluid art pours, but just doing it a little bit differently for shapes that are not symmetrical in that sense, and giving it more structure, having more control while still playing with it and having fun. So I will be listing all the colors that I used in my in the description of the video, so be sure to read the colors that I used. Some of them are from Jacquard. They are the Low Flow, I think, the Lumiere collection. They have a nice sheen to them, and I used some pre-mixed paints that are ready to pour by Primal Flow Paint. Kegan sent me these sample colors, and I am just so in love with them. I'm actually going to be making some purchases at Primal Flow Paint soon. You can follow them on Instagram with the same handle, Primal Flow Paint. And here are some close-ups. You can see how where I swiped, the cells are smaller. Where I didn't swipe, the cells are bigger, but that it also has a nice intermeshing of colors, and it just I feel has more structure. And the body of the dog here has more of that traditional cell structure going on with some added bit of glitter, and you can't really see it here, but there is in the light, and once it dries I will post some photos too, the sheen from the gold. So anyway, those were my tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll continue making these tutorials if you like watching them.